Yo, what's up, guys? We are back at it with the Blindfold Off Podcast. This is the relaunch. We've been away for a fat minute, but in that fat minute, we needed that time to just discover ourselves again, take time, take a break, and just enjoy life and find ourselves again. And honestly, we needed that. We needed to take a break because there was a time where we didn't know what we wanted to do with the podcast. And we just didn't know. We didn't know if we should be goofy or super serious or whatever. But we're here to tell you that we're just going to be us this time. We're just going to be us.
We are. And to introduce ourselves, if we've met, it's a pleasure to meet you, or a pleasure to see you again. If we haven't met, it's a pleasure to meet you. My name is Ernest, and this is Emmanuel. Thank you for listening to our podcast. Our podcast goal is to ultimately help others, and I hope you guys get a lot of help or freedom from your normal day to just kind of relax or listen to us and kind of get some knowledge or advice and conclusion to some lingering thoughts that you guys have. I feel recently with this podcast relaunch, I've discovered God and kind of helping and kind of rediscovering that sort of area in my life and using it as kind of like a foundation. And it's really helped me a lot. So, and I think one of my purposes that God's given me is to help others. And I think helping others is one of the ways that I can do it is with this podcast. Okay. And that's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, honestly, when taking a break helped us realize what our purpose is. And with that being said, we really needed to take time to just go through tough challenges and just go through hardships and to like we didn't feel like we were in a place to, give people meaningful advice if we were going through it ourselves, because it just felt kind of hypocritical in a way. And of course, we're still learning, we're only 21 years old. So we still got a lot to learn. We still have a lot of ideas that we want to talk about, concepts we want to talk about. We still have a whole lot, but that break helped us discover ourselves and just to be closer with God. Like Ernest said, he's our foundation for all of this because we want to help people. I want to help people. That's what I want to do as well. I have all these gifts and talents and abilities. I might as well put them to use instead of just serving myself, serve other people, serve other people, bring other people to his kingdom, and just to help people make their lives better.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to talk about the relaunch, then I'm going to piggyback off what you said. So a couple new things you guys are going to see about the podcast is our new logo.
Yeah.
Shout out to Shoshana, our new graphic designer.
Yeah. Clap, clap, clap.
Please follow her at Shoshana-Bruner on Instagram. We went to school with her and she's a great person. She's really friendly, and definitely give her a follow and take your business to her.
Yeah.
Please.
Shout out Shoshi. And another shout out we want to give is the Kid Disciple for this amazing intro beat. Yeah, I know y'all heard it. It was fantastic. He didn't have to go hard on that, but he did.
No, it shocked me when I listened to it. I was like, it was like one of those things. I was like, dude. I was like, it goes hard. I was like, you didn't have to go that hard, bro.
Oh my gosh, that sample. Ooh, just fire.
Yeah, shout out to Kid Disciple.
Shout out to Kid Disciple. You can follow him on Instagram at KidXDisciple. Amazing producer. Amazing. He also makes beats on Spotify. Follow him there. Kid Disciple.
Mm-hmm. So not only that, we also have the new topics and kind of like discussions that we're going to be talking about, like Emmanuel was talking about. So we did a lot of preparation in order for this relaunch because we kind of took it serious. In college, it was for myself, it was more so like an outlet and kind of find understanding and more so finding myself. But within this time for this relaunch, we actually did a lot of the work. We did a lot of the work. We made the podcast a LLC.
Yeah, shout out. Let's play that clapping clip again. Clapping sound effect. Let's go. Yes,
That's
sir.
a big accomplishment for us. This is our first business. And I feel like at our age, I think that's a big accomplishment. We also did the Patreon. We're going to talk about that later.
Yes, sir.
A lot of the guests we bring on, we're very excited for them.
We're very excited for all the guests we have planned.
U.S. Olympians. We're going to have on business owners. We're going to have on ex-military. We're going to have on pastors. It's just going to be such a lot of great people and conversations that we're going to have. And I'm excited for you guys to listen. We've grown in the past couple of months as well, so where we've kind of have a better understanding of kind of how things work, why people do things, and hopefully you guys can take a little feedback and advice away from the guests that we have on, because ultimately, like I said, our purpose is to help you guys, and hopefully you guys can take something away from it.
Yeah. And with that being said, with what new things we're going to bring to the table with this podcast, let's get right into it. Let's talk about where we've been, what we've been up to, and what our personal journeys are. So me or you, Ernest, rock, paper, scissors, who wants to go first?
Oh, dude, honestly, let's go rock, paper, scissors, eyes closed. Ready?
All right. Eyes closed?
Yeah,
all right.
Ready?
Okay, on shoot.
So you ready?
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Oh, wait, you can't see it. Oh, paper. So you go first. Oh, or I go first.
You go first.
I go first? All right.
All right, I get a pick. You go first.
All right. I bet. All right, that makes sense. All right. So where I've been. All right. So the last episode that I talked about, that was way back in August of 2021. It was right before my last semester of college, actually. And that last semester of college was busy. It was so busy, but it was great. It was a great last semester because that was the semester that I told myself that, okay, I'm going to go out this semester with a bang. I'm going to drop my album. I'm going to drop my music video, all of that. But I ended up pushing it because I didn't realize how big of a deal graduation is, apparently. And, but before all of that, before I talk about dropping the album and everything like that, I was in a weird spot. Like, I was close with God, but I wasn't as close as I would have liked to been. So one of my friends invited me to this young adult church community called Encounter. Shout out real quick. And I went there. I went to a couple Thursday nights, and then I went onto a fall retreat that literally changed my life. And it just made me more aware of what my purpose is on the journey that I already was going on. And I really woke up. I needed to wake up with that. And it allowed me to search things with a pure intention, not just a selfish intention. Because I remember I just wanted to drop an album just to prove to people that I could do it. And that's not a good intention at all, because once you've proven yourself, or once you try to live for people's expectations, you'll die from their rejection. And yeah, it was a great journey because I was able to fulfill what I wanted to in that last semester completely to the max. I was able to hang out with all the people I wanted to. I was able to make moments more enjoyable for actually living in the moment and not thinking selfishly about how I could not necessarily exploit them, but like Nah, I don't know what I was gonna say, but but like just going back to what I said, I was able to live more purposefully, if that makes sense. I was able to live more purposefully and uh live to the max of what God wanted me to do.
Mm. In that
And
time, you rekindled your love for God, and the people around you help you focus on what was really important, and that was
yeah,
pleasing God.
yeah, exactly.
And
Yeah.
me watching from the sidelines the whole time, it was really different because Emmanuel chased it with 100% intention and pure desire. He chased it like as if he was working out 7 days a week to get a perfect body. But in the same way he was practicing Christian values from the Bible with who was around him. And it really rubbed off on me as well because I started to recognize flaws in myself, and it also rekindled the love for God in myself as well. And I really thank Emmanuel for that because without him I wouldn't know where I'd be because some of the things that I had in my view weren't weren't things that I should have been chasing, like
Mm,
Emmanuel was saying.
mm. Yeah, and honestly, like to kind of segue into what Ernest was talking about, how it rubbed off on him. Like when he came to visit me, like on the week of my graduation, that was honestly a big blessing for both of us. We were both able to grow together, recognize our purpose, and we were able to move on from our past mistakes or traumas or anything else that we just had in our past. And we were able to grow as friends, companions. And it was honestly very much needed because ever since then, we've been trying to develop into new people, new men, and with trying to journal every day, with starting NoFap. And we've definitely seen a lot more change in our lives. And we're honestly proud of the people that we've become now. It's mind blowing, honestly. Just thinking back, like 3, 4 months ago, we were totally different people.
That week when I was there, like Emmanuel was talking about when I visited you, it was probably one of the proudest moments I've ever had as a best friend because it was you finished your 4 years of probably really hard work of you just finding yourself and finally you're like, you know what, I did it. It's not like high school anymore, but it's adult world, like from 19 to 21. You went through all the hard work, you had a job, you made your album, you went through heartbreak. It was really amazing to see, and watching you walk up on that stage, like it really made my heart kind of grow because I was so proud of Emmanuel. I was like, he
Yeah,
went through
man.
all that hard work, everything we were talking about, and just to watch him graduate is kind of like, wow, that's amazing. And you could see it when you're, what was it? Your senior, your spotlight, what was it called? Senior or
Yeah,
capstone?
Spotlight.
Your
Oh yeah, my
capstone, you
capstone.
did the music video. Check that out.
Yo, check out the music video.
Check out
Legend
the
music
music
video
video.
out now. Shameless plug, real quick. Legend music video out now. Out now
But
on YouTube.
I was watching your capstone and the interviewer and the girl sitting next to you, they didn't know what to expect. Then everybody saw your video and they were like, wow, and everybody just lit up clapping. And I was watching the video on Facebook too, and it was a proud moment for me because I was like, dang, Emmanuel worked really hard for that, and just listening to him and kind of like giving him advice through, and just for him to succeed was a win for me as well. So it was really nice. It was nice for me to see
Yeah.
you do that, Emmanuel.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you. I'm just speechless right now. I'm just trying to just trying to
Yeah.
collect my thoughts. I'm just out here cheesing, smiling.
Dude, during that week I played so much Mario Kart. So I didn't have a car, and that week I took a week off of the gym because I didn't want to work out because I had really bad fatigue basically because I couldn't sleep and stuff like that. So all I was doing was using a Switch and playing Mario Kart. I was so good
He was so
that I
good.
think I was number 1 for like a whole hour straight.
Yeah, you were.
I'm like global. I got so good and it was in like 5 days. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Then not only
Um,
that, in that week, uh we started doing our Bible study. Then we did a 30-day streak of Bible study. Then what we do now is we send our Bible study pictures to each other.
So
We
how
send
that
Bible study
works?
pictures. Yeah. Continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So how that works is that both of us will read a different section from the Bible. Like, for example, I'll read from Colossians chapter 3, verses 1 through 10, and I'll read it. I'll take some notes on it about how I can apply it to my life. And then I'll take a picture of that and I'll send it to Ernest. And then he'll do the same, but with a different Bible passage, or the same one if he wants to. And it helps us stay accountable to each other, help us keep on track with each other, and just to help us move toward our purpose in a consistent and disciplined way.
Move toward our purpose, but move closer to God.
Exactly.
So later in life, we can have good families, and for our wives, and be reliable men, so that we can kind of stop the stigma of bad men that are in our society. You know what I mean?
Amen,
So
brother.
we can raise our kids properly.
Amen.
And you know what? Having that foresight of us just doing that is really admirable, because I feel like that's so mature, especially with how social media is nowadays. Like we don't really talk about it, but it's just something that we've done for so long. Like we kind of don't acknowledge like how different that is from the group. You know what I mean?
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Like, we kind of take it for granted in a way, because we do it. And like, I didn't recognize that, there are a lot of people that don't really do that. Not to like brag or anything, or take pride in, I don't want this to seem like we're like being all high and mighty, because
Yeah,
we're
we're saying
not.
we're better than
Like,
you. Like we're not.
we're not better than you. Like, we want to do this because we want to keep working on ourselves. Like, we
And
know
while
we
we're
have
working on
flaws.
ourselves, you guys can see our experience and something. Maybe you can learn something from it.
Yeah.
hmm And not only that, it's good. It's not good, but it's kind of like amazing in a way, the kind of guidance that we received. You know what I mean? Like we
How
don't
so?
realize how lucky we are until we don't have it anymore.
Mm,
For example, like the people around us in our church groups,
mm, yeah.
and we don't realize that experience of someone being timid and not knowing what it's like, or having a bunch of people in a church hands up cheering and talking to this God person, because we've done it for so long and we don't know that experience anymore.
Mm,
So it's kind of
facts.
hard to like put ourselves in those shoes, because we've done it for so long.
Yeah.
Kind of like a realization of how lucky we are, especially with the information that we received, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because like one day we just came across the roommates and you're like, you know what? Like let's just watch let's just
Yeah.
watch this, and we're gonna believe these guys. Well, and our fathers, we have both strong father figures that we can look up to and ask, and they give us great advice. Mothers as well.
Yeah.
Let's not just single it out to fathers, but because we're men, I feel like I have a stronger bond with my dad.
Mm.
I still love my mom though. I love my mom to death. Don't take that
Ooh,
anyway.
I love my mom. Oh, wait, no, that's
My
wife.
mom. Wait,
Chance the
what's
Rapper. Ooh, I
what?
love my wife. Ooh, I love my wife. Ah! Have you heard that meme on YouTube?
Nuh-uh. I was thinking of the Chance the Rapper song, or it was like a I love my wife like I am Chance. Oh,
Oh,
Logic. That's Logic.
Logic
I
said
love my
that.
wife like I am, from Dad Bod
Dad
off
bod. And I
what is it?
love my wife like I am Chance.
I
But
love
yeah,
my wife like I am Chance. Yeah.
solid album by Logic. Real quick, shout out real quick to Logic. He's not gonna see us, but shout out.
So we kind of segued off your points. I'm sorry.
Oh
Can
no,
you
it's all good. It's all good. I mean, that's how
no,
conversation
no.
works,
Yeah, that is how it works.
That's how it normally works.
But you were talking about you finally graduating, and your experiences. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. So right now that I'm graduated, now I have more time to actually Oh no, what happened to my camera? Oh, there we go. Now I have more time to focus on the album, pushing it out, photo shoots, music video, promoting all of that. And I did do that. And it felt really nice. It feels amazing to get the album out. Lucid Dreamer out now on all digital and streaming platforms like Apple Music, Spotify, SoundCloud, whoever uses SoundCloud still, YouTube. So stream my new album, Lucid Dreamer. And what's pretty cool too is that looking back at Lucid Dreamer, the album of Lucid Dreamer was literally a season that I was in that past semester and past year in general, honestly, about becoming, or it was a journey about a selfish person with ambitions to fulfill their own pride, slowly going through hardships, heartbreak, and then just to be broken so that they can be built up back again, stronger, finding their purpose, finding out who they want to serve and why they want to serve. And Lucid Dreamer for me is a testament on how far I've come. And I'm honestly glad I made that record, because I look back at it and that's like, it starts off with me being prideful and now just being more humble than it was before.
When you write songs, do you write them with like emotion or memory, or like do you kind of go back and kind of picture yourself in that situation, like to like kindle that emotion so you can get better lyrics?
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, most times. Yeah, most times. Like, it really helps to kind of be in the moment when you're writing a song. And for example, when I wrote Legend, I was all alone in my room. The lights were dark red. It was it was like some eerie Death Note vibes. Just me being
Yeah.
alone in my room, just writing like Light Yagami. delete, just like writing like Light Yagami. Just feeling like a king, a god in that moment. So I had to put myself in that position so I can feel high and mighty. But yeah, that's how I like to write songs, record songs.
So if you guys haven't seen Death Note, like Yagami, he spoiler warning if you guys haven't seen Death Note. Okay.
It's not really a spoiler warning. It's the whole premise of the show.
Yeah, well, I was gonna talk about like who Light is and like
Oh, okay.
like you kind of getting that emotion, you know what I mean?
Oh, got
So,
you. Yeah, yeah.
so Light Yagami is kind of like a really arrogant person, especially when he has the Death Note, because he knows that he can basically kill anybody he wants. So, and the way these people die, either he writes in their death or he just writes down their name, and in what is it, 30 seconds they get a heart attack.
Yeah, 40 seconds to get a heart attack, whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they get a heart attack. So there was like a sort of arrogance and kind of like I'm above everybody else because I have this power. And
Yeah.
he did so much just to keep it. He literally he prepped like 4 months ahead to keep like a little piece of the Death Note in his watch. But if you
Yeah.
guys seen it, you guys don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah. But let's just say he kills a lot of people just to get what he wants.
Yeah. What was the hardest song for you to write? Like to get that emotion going? What was like the hardest song to write?
Ooh, the hardest song to write. Let's see. Hardest song to write was probably Lies.
Lies.
Lies, yeah, because I feel like there are times where we want to have a mask on our face to show that we're always happy, good lucky. Good lucky? Is that the word? Happy
Go
go
lucky.
Yeah, happy good lucky or whatever.
Go lucky.
Go lucky, happy go lucky. Yeah. Go lucky, and that we're always having a good time. And especially with social media, that really puts up a facade of how everyone's living their best life because people only put out the best versions of themselves on social media. And then like I've realized that I can't keep up this facade, because inside I'm deteriorating. I can't speak today. But on the outside, I try to show people like, hey, I'm all fine. I'm all smiles. You see Emmanuel, he's always smiling, always so positive. But, fake positivity is a real thing too. That's what the song Lies helped me realize, that it's okay to not be okay. Don't try to be fake positivity, because that's toxic positivity. That's the word I was looking for. Toxic positivity is where you pretend that everything's all fine, and you don't think about about your own, not necessarily negative feelings, but yeah, I'll just say negative feelings like sadness or anger or depression. Like, you don't think about how those feelings can hurt you if you don't let yourself be, because you're keeping your emotions all bottled up, and then it's just gonna like you keep it bottled up so much that, like, if you don't let it out, it's just gonna break your spirit.
If you really want to visualize a bottle, there's only two ways it's going to come out. The bottle's either going to break or it's going to come out the top if you let it. Like if you take the top off and you let it.
Yeah. Boom. Just made it up on the spot.
Yeah.
Just made up that analogy on the spot.
Yo, put that on a t-shirt.
That's
a depressing t-shirt.
That's a depressing t-shirt.
Shout out Sergio. Shout out Sergio.
Shout out Sergio. That's episode 2 of our podcast.
That's episode 2 of our first season, dude. That was so funny.
That's a depressing t-shirt.
That's a depressing t-shirt. That was funny.
But what were you gonna say?
Text him. Sheesh.
What was that?
I need to text him. The only time I saw him was at your graduation.
Oh yeah.
He like damn near strangled me. He was like, "You didn't tell me we were gonna transfer."
That's funny.
He was like, "That's a depressing t-shirt."
That's a depressing t-shirt. Only time you stop growing when you're 6 feet under.
Yeah. That was what he said. So that's why we were remembering that because of the depressing t-shirt.
Reminiscing.
What I was gonna say was, what was the song you were the most emotional for? Like where you had to get in that state? Like what was the song like you were the most emotional for?
Oh, same song, Lies.
Same song, Lies.
Yeah, because it allowed me to break my shell, instead of having to put up that fake face. And it allowed me to just be in a moment, sing with my heart out, just mean every single word that I wrote. Like when I was recording, I meant every single word that I was talking about. Like there's a line that says like, never good with letting go, never had a lot of friends. I can't remember it, even though I wrote it. But just
Manuel doesn't write his songs, confirmed. Manuel's got a ghostwriter. He's got a ghostwriter.
But it's just like, just certain lines in that song are all vulnerable parts of me that I wouldn't normally confirm or let out.
Or share with other people.
Or share with other people. That's a good word.
Especially on that type of platform. Like literally anybody could listen to it if they just download the app Spotify.
Yeah. Because like with music, you're easily accessible to your thoughts, what you're thinking, what message you want to put out. And like music, in general, is a great way for people to hear each other's stories and hear what people are going through. Yeah, music is powerful, honestly, because you never, like, especially as an artist, you never recognize or take time to appreciate who's actually listening and who actually has an impact from what you're creating. Because especially in the social media world, everyone wants to look good for the gram. Everyone wants to have this many monthly listeners. People don't really focus on the impact of the people. I was literally having a conversation with someone. I was on the phone with someone and we were talking about numbers and people, and how we shouldn't see numbers on social media as numbers, but as actual people. Like if 10 people viewed your YouTube video, then that's 10 people who took time out of their day to watch your video and give it 10 likes or 10 genuine comments, compared to 4,000 bots that don't even exist.
That was one of the things that kept us going for our first season. We were like, you know what? If people are kind of like gonna put that expectation on us, like already compare us to, let's say, like a bigger podcast, like when I say this name, don't freak out, everybody. But like the Joe Rogan podcast, like how many followers and listeners they have. Like if they were to compare us to that, like when we're just starting off, I mean, in a way, that's not fair, but it is. It's it's fair in the fact because we both have the same outlet to produce and release our content. And it's not fair because we haven't even had time to develop or even have that amount of money to invest in our podcast to get certain guests on and even have that those type of dialogues and conversations. So we kind of had to really talk about it and really think of the situations of are these opinions really worth it? And we kind of and while we were maturing and finding our way, we kind of figured out which voices to listen to and which voices not to listen to, which voices mean a lot and which voices don't really mean a lot. And that's kind of one of the things that helped us with this relaunch as well.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, it helped us to zoom out and look at the bigger picture as well.
Yeah, and it kind of put in perspective because being an artist, in a way, you're a content creator.
Mm-hmm.
When you're a content creator, you put a lot at risk. You put the risk of embarrassment, you put the risk of perception, you put the risk of literally everyone knowing your personal life. You have those types of risks, and for you to put content out with those risks, in a way, it's very courageous, and not a lot of people do it.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Especially those people who are very successful. Let's say like a famous artist, like let's say Kanye. Well, I mean, we can bring up a lot about Kanye, like you know what I mean. He put all that at risk to maybe get like a little reward when he was just first starting off. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But now
especially.
since he's so big, he all of those things at risk have kind of like come to, lack of a better term, like bite him in the butt. You know what I mean? Like he put himself out there and
Mm-hmm.
his home, like everybody knows about what's going on with him and Kim. Everyone knows what's going on about his home life, his music, his mental state, what he does constantly, and him putting that at risk is really courageous because you're never really that vulnerable with that many people.
Mm.
So it's kind of crazy to think about and kind of put that into perspective.
Yeah, dang.
Literally everyone knows what you're doing because
It's
you're that famous.
dang. That's a lot of pressure.
It's kind of crazy to think about.
Dang.
Yeah, the Genius documentary was interesting to
It
say
was
the least.
really well done. I
One of
mean,
the
I've
questions I asked, oh wait, no, continue. I'm sorry.
oh, I was gonna just say, like, I've only seen like two parts. I haven't seen the third part yet, but all I know is that it's heartbreaking.
um, oh, a question we were talking about was like, was Kanye always like that before the money, or was he like that only because he had the money? Like, did the money change him, or was he always like that, even when he never had the money? And that was a question that I heard on the Roommates by Hafiz and Chris because they were talking about um them in college and the women they dated. They were like, if you had as much money as you had now, would you, and experience and swagger and looks, and you had this house and all that stuff, would you have still have dated them back then when you were that age? And the answer was no. No. So that brings into question, like, were you always that person, or were you kind of just settling because you don't have those things? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I would say definitely Kanye now compared to back then, he definitely is not the same person. And
Mm,
like it's more so it's not necessarily just fame that changed him, but I would argue that a lot of things changed him. Like considering, the death of his mother, Donda, that definitely made an impact on him because we've talked about this before about
yeah, we talked about
like off camera about how he didn't have a time to grieve. The paparazzi was always on him. People are always asking him, how do you feel after your mother's death? How do you feel after your mother's death? How do you feel after your mother's death? And he just never had a complete alone time to grieve because everyone was on him.
that. And he didn't even, like you said, he didn't have time to process it or even figure out what his way to process it was,
Hmm.
because everybody was on him.
Yeah.
And one thing that I did was, like, I put myself in his shoes. I was like, if my mom died, how would I feel? And I was like, I would feel absolutely awful. I would be crying all the time, and I just wouldn't know what to do. Okay, I feel like that, but now everyone's asking you how you feel, and you don't either have the courage enough to say it, you don't want to share it because that's extremely personal.
Hmm.
Like, your mother, like, you care about your mother so much that sharing, like, your feelings, that's like so vulnerable. Like, even in your song, it kind of took a lot for you to share. You know what I mean? It
Hmm.
took a lot for you to share, but and your true feelings, like, you kind of want to let them out. But if you do, like, what are they gonna say? Like, what are they gonna do? Like, as soon as you let them out, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And like you have to be ready for that.
Like, if you're that vulnerable, what's gonna happen? They can
Yeah.
easily take a statement that you said and kind of go on a spree with it.
Yeah. Like someone could easily take a vulnerable lyric someone else said and be like, "Oh, he's a wuss," or whatever, or like he cries a lot or whatever. Because I know that there's a lot of specific rappers and artists out there who are super vulnerable in their music, and then people are always like, "Oh, he's always so depressed. Make happy music for once." I'm just like, dang, that's
Like the
ouch.
Kodak Black lyric is him being vulnerable. Super Gremlins.
I
Have you
haven't
listened
seen that
to Super
lyric.
Gremlins?
No, I haven't listened to it. No.
Dude, it is a banger. It is a banger. It is a banger,
Oh
bro.
wait, I think I do know what you're talking about. Like I have a faint, foggy memory of him being vulnerable about it, and then people clowning on him or something like that, right?
No, I was just saying the song was a banger.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying
I was
that.
kind of kidding.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Never mind.
Now you're
Never
good.
mind.
Now you're good. No,
Never mind.
now you're good. But it's kind of crazy to think about or put yourself in his shoes. And, like, not only that, like, you don't even know his thoughts or, like, kind of how he responds to
Mm,
that type of anxiety. And a lot of how you were raised has a lot to do with how you process those things.
yeah, definitely. Because I know some people growing up.
How
So,
old is he when he dropped what was it, College Dropout?
that was
Like,
back in 2005. Yeah, I'm gonna just search it up real quick.
yeah, look it up real quick. Because
How old?
depending on what age he was, it's kind of like he hasn't even matured or been able to kind of, like, understand himself to the point where he can process those things.
Yeah, he was 26 years old.
Understand himself to know, like, where those emotions are coming from and kind of, like, deal with them and kind of look at them objectively, kind of lean in a way. On the other hand, is on the opposite side of objectiveness, kind of lean into those feelings and kind of really embrace them. And
Mm,
like, you know what, I feel this way. It's okay to feel this way. But he didn't get any of that. So it was kind of hard.
yeah.
But that's one of the risks again. Like that's one of the risks with being famous and putting yourself out there.
Yeah. Honestly, with being famous, I remember being like 13 years old. I just wanted to be famous just to prove to people like, hey, I can do this. I can do this. I'm not just that quiet pastor's kid at church. I can do this, but without recognizing what it takes to actually be famous and all the pressures that come with it. Like as you mentioned with what Kanye's facing right now, all the pressures, it's just like, dang, like we can
That was
easily, yeah, we can easily get so caught up in our dreams, but if we don't recognize the pressures of it, then all those dreams won't be dreams. It's going to be nightmares.
yeah. So we kind of went on a little spear right there, but do you want to finish talking about your album, Lucid Dreamer, and like your experiences with it?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So with my experiences with
How old
Lucid
was
Dream,
Kanye, by the way, when you pulled it up?
oh, he was 26.
Oh, he was 26. Oh,
Yeah,
so he was still kind of like a young man, but he was an adult.
yeah, like he would be like 5 years older than we are.
Yeah. I mean,
Maybe
depending on the environment he was in, like it's kind of
that's true.
it's hard. But
Yeah,
finish on your album.
yeah. So after I dropped the album, I was promoting it, and I recognized that it was a season that I was in. There was a part of me still in that season, but now I'm in the phase of transitioning out of it. And after I dropped the album, I dropped the music video for Legend, which we talked about before. That was an amazing project. Shout out to all the people who worked on it. Oh, I can't name them all. There's a lot, but shout out to all of them who worked on the music video. I couldn't have done it without them. And honestly, with that project, it makes me realize that you can't do everything alone. Like, especially with this podcast too, we can't do everything alone. Like you and I, we need each other. We need each other to build up what this podcast is, help realign our goals and focus on what we want for the future and successes of this podcast to grow. And yeah, I know I went on a little tangent, but with the music video, it helps me realize that as a prideful lucid dreamer, I need people in my life to help and guide me. I need people to instruct me, give me criticism, constructive criticism, just to help me be the person I am today. The person I am today would not have been here all alone by my own efforts. Like I needed people for that. And yeah, and where I'm at now, I have a lot of contents that I'm working on. Like I just dropped an Attack on Titan and House Moving Castle reaction. I'm gonna do some more reactions and just a lot more vlogs and other fun stuff on my YouTube channel. Follow me on YouTube, subscribe to me, Emmanuel LKD. But yeah, it's just been a fun journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, is that all you have for circling back to what we were originally talking about? We were talking about finding yourself, like what we were doing on this hiatus. Is that kind of the gist of it?
Yeah, that's the gist of it.
That's the gist of it.
Yeah.
So without further ado, I will share.
Yeah,
Finally.
Ernest, your turn. Woohoo! I got you, buddy.
I will finally share.
Finally.
10 hours later. 10 hours later. Okay, so this was a really big decision for me, and I quit baseball. I know I was talking about it from season 1 and kind of like letting it go, but I Okay, so let me refresh your memory. So in season one, in our very first episodes, I was kind of going through depression and anxiety with dealing with the fact that I don't love baseball anymore. I don't love it, and it kind of hit me because I worked day and night all throughout high school ever since I was a little kid. That was the dream I was working for. And to kind of get that kind of just realize that you don't have it anymore, like it's not gonna it's not like everything you worked for.
It's like everything you work for just kind of like crumbles like in your hands.
Yeah, and in a way it kind of just like I had a lot of deals with like me thinking I'm a failure, and and one of the things I had to realize was the I'm I'm not the person of my outcomes, if that makes sense. Like how I
Yep.
perform on the baseball field is not who I am as a person.
Mm,
If I hit really good, I'm a good person. If I hit really bad, I'm a bad person. And that started kind of creeping in. And that was lack of maturity and lack of understanding. And I'm kind of glad I went through that because I really, really needed that. And I'm glad God blessed me with, in a way, with that experience and kind of going through that hardship and understanding and realizing that who I am playing is not who I am as a person. My character
mm,
is independent of my performance.
mm.
Mhm.
Fact. Yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
went and I stopped playing. I finished the year out at Bethany Lutheran College in Mankato. We s- I think we lost in the semifinals to Saint Scholastica. Um, I came back home thinking that I'm looking for a new school really quick, trying to find somewhere else, thinking that if I move somewhere else that and get in a new environment that I would love it even more, and that wasn't the case.
Mm,
Um, I came back and I played for the fall season at Pima Community College, and I quit within the first 3 weeks. I quit within the first 3 weeks because the same things that were happening to me at this new school were happening were the same things that were happening at my last school, if that makes sense. And
mm,
it was really hard and tough to deal with because I was like, you know what, I can just deal with this and go on with it and see where this takes me. But if I don't love it, like, am I really gonna give my best effort? And that's what I started to find. Like, I wasn't giving my best effort.
mhm,
I wasn't giving my best effort, and literally getting up to go to the baseball field was a drag. I was dreading it. I was like, "Ugh, baseball practice again today. Like, ugh, can I just get a day off? Like, do I really have to do this again?" And once I reached that point, I was like, yeah, no, this isn't good for me. And I'm lucky that I had the understanding and maturity to be able to move away from it. And the people that helped me move away from it, I really thank them for it because it was doing more damage than it was doing good. And it was kind of sad, like looking at it in a perspective, like the thing that you love so much was hurting you more than helping you. You know what I mean?
mm,
Hurting you more than helping you. So if you guys want a little insight on what was happening to me was I was really performance and outcome based. During my junior year of high school, I really got outcome performance based. I did so because I thought everything that I needed in this world was to be a professional baseball player. If I was a professional baseball player, I was a good person. If I was a professional baseball player, I was living the life, everything I wanted it to be. And from 17 to 21, that was basically my thought process. My thought process and anxiety, like I would literally go to practice so anxious that I would literally shake. Like my hands were shaking thinking of the thought of failing and not becoming a pro baseball player. Like that, like every single stat that I did not have that could prove or lead to me being a professional baseball player, I got anxious and I got upset at it because I was like, you know what? Every single thing that I don't have is one less step of me becoming that. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And that was really hard for me because that was a really immature mindset. And I'm glad I went through that. With that, every night I would go to sleep anxious. I would have to take sleeping pills because just to get over my anxiety. Just to get over my anxiety because I literally couldn't get over it. Like I would stay up at night thinking about what's to come, like or the failure or getting nervous of failing, nervous of even being in that situation of having the possibility to fail. And that that's what was happening with baseball. So I had to leave. I was getting maybe like 4 or 5 hours, 4 hours like a night of sleep, and it was just doing more damage than it was doing good. And after that, I got really super depressed, and that's my story with baseball. I kind of got bitter at it, like I was upset at baseball
Mm.
in a way, like I was like, I don't even want to see one. Like I'm just so bitter of the fact I didn't get what I wanted. Like
Mm.
I don't want to see it at all. You know what I mean? I don't want to be near it. I don't want to watch people playing baseball. My friends would come and ask me, "Hey, do you want to come out and play?" No.
Mm.
No, because I was just so bitter that I didn't get what I wanted. And me just saying that, what does that sound like? Like a little kid not getting what he wanted, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, it sounds like a little kid not
Yeah.
getting what he wanted. So I'm glad that's done. I'm glad I went through it. That was a big portion in my life and a huge decision. And
Hmm.
I would have never thought I would have been happy outside of baseball, but you know what? I really am. And me finding God was a big step to feeling happy again.
Hmm. Yeah, man. Just going off what you said with how you were outcome based, and if you didn't do this, then I'm not a good person, or if I did this, I'm a good person. I bet like when your mind started expanding to other opportunities, that was really conflicting, huh? That was like super conflicting with your thought process of outcome basedness, right?
It was conflicting because I had baseball was my identity.
Mm.
So I was like, I am this. I only do this. So why do I even need to think of any other outcome, or
Hmm.
why do I even need to pursue any other goal? I am this. I'm always gonna be this. It's never gonna change.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really conflicting too because I was like, you know what, I could be successful here, but I don't want it.
Mm.
I don't want it. And I was super stubborn, but I went through it. I got over it, but yeah, that was a big circle. That was a big thing in my life. Yeah, that was probably one of the biggest decisions I've had, and it really impacted me. Yeah, but I'm glad I went through that
Yeah.
experience because now I coach high school baseball for University High School in Tucson, and I absolutely love it. I coached over the summer league team, and I had the reins, and I absolutely loved it. I loved coaching those kids with every single ounce of my heart.
Mm.
I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. Just watching them succeed was better than me succeeding. it just made me so happy that they would take my teachings and use it for their success.
Mm,
They would use it for my success, for their success. So in a way, it was kind of like I didn't go through that for nothing.
right.
Yeah, I didn't go
Right.
through
Yeah.
that for nothing.
Yeah. I remember you posting about the kids' text messages to you. You're like,
Oh,
Ernest, we did
dude.
it. We did it. Yeah. Thank you so much. Oh, man.
Oh
I bet
man,
that's heartwarming, huh?
they were so excited, and they messaged me, and I was my heart was really warmed. I was like, I can't even express how happy I was, just because in a way, how I was saying in the beginning, like my purpose is to help people. Me helping them and watching them succeed was so good that I can't even express how I felt in words, other than just pure joy.
Yeah. Pure joy. It's like laughter in a way. Like, were you laughing at all? Or like, I bet you had like some kind of, yeah,
Yeah, I was
just
like
geeking, just
smiling.
cheesing.
When you have pure joy, it's kind of hard to describe it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's other than just pure happiness. Like it,
Yeah. Just
yes,
like, just everything in your body floats.
hmm yeah. Going back to the kids, to the boys that I coached, I really enjoyed how they grew as people. Their confidence went up. They believed in their ability. And when I first got there, they were kind of down, and like every single game they would go in like, "Oh, we're losing. Like I'm not that good. I'm kind of just out here just to play." But then at the end of the season, they were going out there to win, and they loved it, and they did it to get better. And
Mm,
that was one of the best things that I recognized and I really loved about it. And I kind of want to do it as often as possible, because just watching them, I can't even describe, just because watching them succeed is just amazing. It was
mhm.
really amazing. Yeah, and that's what I do now. I coach for Rincon High School, and I absolutely love it. Um, yeah, I work at the fragrance outlet too. It's a cologne and perfume store.
Yeah, so you know he'd be smelling good.
Dude, I got on that Dolce and Gabbana. Sheesh.
Ah. See, and then what you can do there is like you can just like take pictures of your wrists, and then you can put it on your Instagram story and make a poll and be like, okay, I need your help. Which one smells good?
Bro, shut up. That was one of the dumbest things I've ever seen, dude. I looked at your story. I was like, you gotta be joking, bro. It's not serious. I was like, which one smells better? How am I supposed to smell it if if I'm just looking at it? I was like, dude. I messaged him on every single platform I could. I was like, bro, are you serious? Then he's like,
Oh,
sniff harder. I'm like, shut up.
just like that part. Oh, now I smell it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, it smells good.
Yes, it smells good. Obviously, the left one is like a natural scent, and the right one is like a fancy champagne type of scent. Obviously, come on now.
Obviously, like one of them's bougie, one of them's just for everyday use. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Light work. I'm
And
not
a
gonna
lot of people chose the
like.
right side. They wanted me to smell bougie, so appreciate y'all.
They like that. They like bougie Emmanuel.
Yeah, they like
They
bougie
wanted his new
manual.
glasses look. They liked his new glasses look.
They like my new glasses. Yeah, y'all see these new glasses. If y'all are watching it on YouTube, if y'all are listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, I'm wearing nice glasses.
Did you guys see how thick those things were?
Hey, yo, chill.
Blind
Yo,
as
chill.
hell.
Yo, chill.
See how
I'm
thick those
blind.
were? Bro,
Relax.
just give us like a side view POV real
Nah,
quick.
nah,
Give us like a side view POV.
nah.
Do it, do
All right,
it,
fine, fine,
do
fine.
it.
So this is how thick they are.
Oh! You can see in the future with them hoes.
Yeah, bro. See in the future with them. Woo, man.
Yeah, back to what I've been doing.
Yeah. What are you doing now, man? You work at a fragrance store. You're coaching high school kids.
Working out, getting this podcast going. We put a lot of work into this podcast. So
Definitely.
that's literally a lot of my time was allocated to this. Just setting it up for the future, for money, and really believing in myself, and kind of like, if this happens, okay, now this is the next step. Kind of like putting a lot of like the cards we have in our back pocket, and that was what we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
One of the big things that I had during this moment was kind of this manosphere like discovery. And some of you may think of it as like red pill, but I'm not. Red pill, blue pill. Like, I know what those are, but I'm not like, I don't acknowledge, because some of those are just
Straight
absolute.
up just
Some of
trash.
them are just seriously like straight up disrespecting like women, like calling them like all these names, and I'm like, bro, like,
Like, bro, no,
relax.
relax.
I'm
We
like,
get
relax,
it.
bro. Like, you don't need to be like that. Like, you don't need to be those things to be a good person or a good man. Like, to get more girls to like you.
Yeah, like what the
Like,
heck?
is having sex with girls like really every man's end goal? Like, is that their purpose in life? I was
Like,
like,
no, bro.
no.
Like what?
But
Bro, what
that
the
was probably the most extreme side of it. And a lot of good that came from it was the self-improvement, the realization, the self-realization, and kind of seeing where you're at compared to other dudes as well. And like, okay, where do I want to be? Like, what are the steps you took to get there?
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of one of the big things I've had and I've listened to.
Yeah,
And that really helped me out a lot, because I wanted to become the best man I could be. Especially coming out of baseball, I needed something to work on, and I'm glad God gave that to me in a weird way. Because coming across the roommates, it was like random. It was like completely random.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was like totally random. Yeah, and that helped me out a lot. A lot of the things they talk about are no fap, journaling, bettering your body, getting a good job, and getting a lot of money. And a lot of those things are good for, let's say, like setting yourself up for your family, but a lot of those things, the manner in which they use them are bad. You know what I mean? Like, they gave
right.
them all the tools, but the way they use it are not good.
Mm-hmm.
hmm And yeah, that manosphere really helped me out a lot. That discovery.
Yeah, it really helps you to really find specific areas in your life that you need to improve on in yourself so that you can become the better person that you want to be. And like I remember like you and I went through that early January, like the new year started. We're like, all right, new year, new us. So
Yeah,
let's dig into this. Who do we want to be? How can we get to what we want to be? And how can we hold each other accountable to get to where we want to be?
yeah. It's already the third month, and we've seen like a ton of improvement from each other.
Shit. Yeah, a lot of improvement.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
And s- and this year I kind of took it as like a growing year. Like,
Hmm.
I'm gonna try to get to where I want with 100% full steam.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And see, like sometimes with steam, steam is hot, you might burn yourself, but when you're going with 100% full steam, you're gonna be at a much faster, you're gonna get to where you want to be at a much faster rate with that 100% steam. Even though it's hot, it's gonna be worth it because you're gonna get to where you want to be a lot faster.
Huh.
Just made that up too.
Put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah, that's not a depressing t-shirt.
What a depressing t-shirt. Sergio, we love you, bro. We love you.
Sergio, we love you.
We
Shout out
love you. We just kidding.
Sergio. Shout out Sergio.
Don't choke me.
Don't jump me.
Don't choke me. Don't jump me.
It's
Oh,
okay. He's all the way in Minnesota. I'm in Wisconsin. You're in Arizona. We're safe.
yeah, he's gonna message me. He's like, I'm gonna fly down there and I'm gonna beat you up.
Pow, pow,
Yeah,
pow.
so that's what we've been up to. Um, I also got into like taking care of yourself, like doing your nails, like filing your nails and making sure yourself groomed like very well, like doing your eyebrows, like getting your hair
Mhm.
done and making sure you dress nice. Like perception means a lot. One of the biggest things that I I heard and I told Emmanuel was if you meet perception with performance, like that's when you see a lot of like good things happen. Because most dudes just think about their performance and like, all right, this is gonna speak for themselves. But if you have and they don't really care about their perception, and people are gonna be like, oh, he looks like a slob because he dresses like this, but he's like, yeah, but I have this car, I work this hard and all this. But like if you can't really get people to like want to talk to you, because perception does, regardless if we want to acknowledge it or not, has a lot to do with how people view us and want to talk to us and interact with us.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Yeah, and if
big.
you meet perception with performance, like a lot of good things happen. Like you can get a lot of things that you want.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact.
Oh, the big thing is, guys, we have a Patreon, and we're gonna put the link right here,
Sure. Share.
here,
Somewhere on the screen.
right there, somewhere on the
Somewhere on the
the screen
screen.
in the bottom. We're gonna put the link to the Patreon, and there, you guys can support us and donate. We have different tiers, so however much money you think you want to support us, or how much money you have to support us, um, we'll definitely be more than happy to take it because um, those donations are the things that are going to keep us going and really keep us motivated to keep this podcast going,
Yeah.
growing and understanding. So the tiers, um, right now it's probably $5, $10, $20, $25, I think maybe 50, 75, and $100.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing with the Patreon, it's gonna say for a subscription, but you can cancel at any time. So if you guys just want to make a donation, uh, just subscribe and pay the amount, then you can immediately unsubscribe like the next day or the hour after.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that'll really help us out a lot. That's gonna give us motivation to keep going and really help reinforce the idea like we're on the right track.
Yeah. And later on, as we grow with more following on the Patreon, we'll offer more benefits and even exclusive content from us. So you're going to see another side of us. You're going to get to know us a lot more. And we're really excited for this to launch.
So with the Patreon, one of the things you're gonna get for the exclusive content, when we get big enough, is gonna be a BFOP After Dark. So BFOP is the abbreviations of Blindfold Off Podcast, then After Dark. So you're probably gonna get more, maybe like laughter, jokes, me and Emmanuel kind of being
Messing
being a
around
little more
before the
over the top.
podcast.
And if we have a really good conversation with our guests and we get to the hour mark, we're gonna be like, you know what? If you guys want to watch the rest of this conversation, go to Patreon. Go to Patreon, and you can watch the rest of this conversation on there. And on there, we're gonna offer T-shirts. We're gonna offer opportunities to recommend guests to come on the show, topics, um, exclusive meet and greets eventually, like if we get really that big, but I don't want to be like, but at a certain tier, you're gonna have all that offered to you. You're gonna even have, what is it, open contact between
Open contact.
either me or Emmanuel through the Patreon app. Okay, then we're gonna have a lot of good things going on too, like a not a no what is it, no fap giveaway, but it's a more so like
It's
no
like
fap contest.
Yeah, no fap contest / accountability.
Slash accountability sheet for you guys to really get that done, because those things really changed our life, and I think it can change yours as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and later on with the Patreon, when we get more following, we will offer those different benefits and exclusive content with the more following we get. So that's just a little reminder. Follow us on our socials, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, but we don't really use Facebook. Or follow us on
Instagram.
Spotify, YouTube, Apple
Podcasts.
Please. It helps us out a lot.
At Blindfold Off Podcast.
Also, you can follow my fitness at IV Lifts, and you can find that in the description of my personal profile at _ERmenta if you guys want to check me out or want to send a message to me.
And then you can find me at Emmanuel LKD on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all those other social platforms. Check me out on YouTube, making content, like I said before, reaction content, music content, maybe vlog content. And follow me on Spotify, Apple Music, Emmanuel LKD.
And check out his album and his new music video.
Yes, check that out. Thank you.
Please. My favorite song on the album was Purpose and Little Root.
Purpose and Little Root. And that's exactly what we talked about today.
Purpose was just...
Oh. Wait, no, that's not
Little Root. Yeah, gotta get it for him. Okay, how do you not like remember your song, dude? Like you literally wrote the thing,
bro. I don't know.
He can't even think of it. He's like, yeah. Please leave a comment on who you want to see on the podcast, what you want us to talk about, and please give us feedback so we can improve. Please. It means a lot, and those comments, we definitely read them and we'll take them into consideration. So please leave a comment, or if not, DM us on our Instagram or our personals, and we'll definitely be glad to read it and talk to you guys.
And with that being said, thank you guys for listening to our first episode of our relaunch of the Blindfold Off podcast. Appreciate y'all so much. We look forward to our next episodes and all of our other content that we will be pushing out. See you guys. Have a great week. And God bless. Peace.